Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. There are quite a few videos on the internet on how to do filters for model kits, and I thought it would be useful to show you how not to do filters on model kits. I have tried it for the first time and unfortunately it didn't work out too well, so I will show you the results. But before I do that, let me just explain what I did. So I got one of these paint palettes, and using these three here, I put Winsor & Newton Payne's Grey in here. I then put Winsor & Newton's, let me just grab it, Cerulean Blue in that one. And then in, I think it may have been one of these round here, I put just some low odour thinners from Winsor & Newton again. And so then I thinned down the two colours to a consistency where the thinners was just basically tainted. If you pulled your brush up along the side like this, you would see that there was just ever such a slight pigment of the paint, and that is basically the consistency that you need. So how did it turn out? I will give you an example of where it went wrong basically. Okay guys, so this is the field kitchen that I've been working on. See if I can focus in a bit more. And as you can see, these areas here, this section, this section, this section, and also the section at the back, I used the Cerulean Blue on that. What my mistake was, I believe that it was thinned to the right proportions, where it was just the thinner was just tinted with the colour. But I painted it up, so I painted it on. And what you're supposed to do is just with a wider brush. I haven't got a wide flat brush with me. You just kind of bring it across. You're not supposed to let it pool, and you just a thin layer. So you put that layer on, and what my mistake was, I wasn't letting it dry sufficiently, so it looked as if it was dry, but the pigment was still drying out. So I looked at it and saw that there wasn't any change in the colour of that particular part of the kit. So what I did was immediately added another one, and then I went round out all these four areas and did exactly the same. When I was looking at it again, after a while, it still looked as if there was no effect. So I added some more oil paint to the thinners, made it a slightly deeper tint, and then put it over. And what happened was, it was the following day I came and looked at what I'd achieved, and to my horror, there was these really turquoise finishes on those four parts. Now where I did get it right was, or I feel that I did, was on the back. Now these two areas here, that one and that one, have been treated with the Cerulean Blue. This section here was treated with the Payne's Grey, and so the variation there for me works very well. But as I say, on the top here, I really did overdo it. If we have a look at an example on one of the Panzers, so this is one that hasn't been treated yet. I hope you can make that out. And if we look at the same turret on another tank, you can see that the Cerulean Blue is on here, and again I think it's just ever so slightly, not as bad as on the kitchen, ever so slightly too much. It works okay here too on these two hatches. I think I did okay and got away with it there, but definitely I need to try and sort this out. So how do you sort out a mistake like that? Well, I'm told that if I just use thinners, plain thinners, and you can put that on again in a wide brush, and you can use it to wipe off what you've done. Basically, you wipe it off, then wipe your brush on tissue, and then do the same, and that way it reactivates the thinner, sorry, the pigment that's there, and you can remove it that way. The other thing to do is to do another filter, perhaps the Payne's grey, and put that filter over the top, and that will darken down what's on there. So that's the second one. Third one is obviously repaint those sections in the Panzer grey and start from scratch. Fourth option with some of these instances is, you could put something over the top, like a tarpaulin or something to hide. But if you can get away with doing the first three, then you should be able to rescue the paint job. So that's my plan. I'm going to try and use the filters to either dull it down or the thinner to take it off and bring it off a bit. So the other thing I wanted to show you on this build is something I noticed whilst I was eating my lunch. Now, obviously the field kitchen will be set up, and we've got a chef, a cook, serving the meal. And what I noticed was that the brake blocks aren't against the wheels. And you would have thought that as it's stationary and it's set up for cooking and whatever, that those would have been locked against the wheels to stop it moving anywhere. So there's two ways of resolving this. One way is to, if I just tip it over, remove this part and move it back. Now, because it's underneath, you won't see that it's not so important that this is in the wrong position, so long as this block is in the right position. So that's one way I could do it, taking this piece off and moving it back. The other idea that my wife had was I just add some putty or something in between and make it look as if the block is touching there. The reason I possibly won't go for that is that the block will look quite big. So I am going to attempt the other way of moving this piece back. I'm pretty sure I can do that. It was glued in this position here. So putting the putty between the two pieces is the less destructive of the two. But we'll see. So I noticed that, and I want to make that change on that. On the carriage, I just thought I'd go back a bit. You can see that I've got the blue patina, the turquoise patina on there. It's not so bad on the seat section, but it has picked up quite a bit on that lower section there, so I need to do something about that. Anyway, the brake blocks on there aren't so important, because once they've unhitched the horses, they'll need to take the brake off to manhandle this around, and then it's kind of parked in a position like that. So I don't think that matters so much, but I think the kitchen could do with the blocks being against the wheels. As the title of this video suggests, just a very quick update on Ron's build. I'll zoom out and, as always, get it the wrong way around. So that's Ron's build now. That's all sprayed black. I do like the Chaos Black from Games Workshop, the rattle can. It works really well. Obviously these sections can come off again, so there'll be an ease in painting, and all the wheels will come off as well, so I can get to the various pieces. But now that's sprayed black, I can crack on with that, hopefully, and it will look a nice addition to the dia. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. I just thought I'd give you some idea of what can go wrong with filters, and hopefully next time you see these, I'll use either the techniques of darker filter over to bring the colour down a bit, or using the thinners to take it off, and we'll see if I manage to sort that out. Thanks ever so much for watching. Stay safe, everybody, and I'll catch up with you soon.